Russia, a spokesman for Vladimir Putin says the Russian president is in no hurry to take any action concerning American Edward Snowden. Snowden's currently living in the international terminal at the Moscow International Airport. He's been there since June 23rd. Last week, Snowden formally requested asylum from the Russian government. Meanwhile, the U.S. wants him back home to face prosecution for espionage.
In San Diego, the pressure grows for that city's mayor, Bob Filner, to resign amid accusations he made sexual advances to a number of women. Today, Filner announced he will undergo therapy, including a 2-week stay at a behavioral clinic. So far, 7 women have come forward to accuse him of sexual harassment. He's only been serving as mayor since November.
In Spain, authorities hope to question the driver in a deadly train derailment for possible recklessness. The driver was hospitalized with injuries from the crash and is being guarded by police. Police are investigating why the train was speeding through the area when it crashed, killing nearly 80 people. Witnesses say the train was traveling about 100 miles an hour when it should have been doing less than 50 around the turn.
The Food and Drug Administration proposes new steps to ensure that fresh produce, cheese, and other foods imported into the U.S. are safe. The new rules are part of new food safety laws passed by Congress more than 2 years ago. Part of the agreement is to require foreign processors that ship into the U.S. be held to the same standards that American facilities operate under.
In Washington, the U.S. Park Police have now closed the Lincoln Memorial after someone threw green paint on the statue. The vandalism was discovered around 1:30 this morning on the statue, the pedestal, and the floor. Police are reviewing security camera footage to try and identify any possible suspects. Officials hope to have the memorial reopened before the end of the weekend.
North and South Korea will commemorate tomorrow the 60th anniversary of the end of the Korean War. That war began in 1950 when communist North Korean troops launched a surprise attack on South Korea. It ended with an armistice signed on July 27, 1953. Technically, a peace treaty was never signed, and the Korean peninsula was left in a state of war, divided at the 38th parallel.
Tensions are high in Egypt after the army chief called for people to take to the streets to show their support for the military, which ousted President Mohamed Morsi earlier on this month.
5 people are now reported dead. Ayman Mahideen has more from Cairo.
An Egyptian prosecutor has ordered ousted President Mohamed Morsi to remain in custody for 15 days, pending an investigation that he possibly conspired with foreign elements to create violence here in the country. Now, that certainly is going to be seen as an ominous sign by many people that the former president is going to be charged with crimes. For now, though, he is not officially yet charged, although he remains in judicial custody to some degree. Now, against the backdrop of that bombshell of a news that was announced earlier this morning, the country's top general had also called on Egyptians to take to the streets by the millions to give the military a mandate to crack down on what it describes as terrorist activity across the country. But many human rights activists and pundits are looking at this and saying it is a dangerous precedent, and some even say it could possibly be the beginning of the military's attempt to try and break up a pro-Morsi rally that is being held in a Cairo neighborhood. So there's a tremendous amount of tension that is brewing. Violence has already broken out in some parts of the country, and it could be a very long night if, in fact, the groups, the supporters of the ousted president and opponents, come within the vicinity of each other and lead to the kinds of clashes we've seen in recent weeks. Ayman Mahideen, NBC News, Cairo.
And we still have more news ahead. Coming up yesterday, we told you about a playground under construction in Monroe County. Now the first phase of work is complete. We'll take you for a tour. And then later on, for anyone over 50, taking that first step on a new exercise program may not be easy, but it doesn't have to be difficult either. Every little bit will help. That's ahead in today's Health Watch on WTVA News at 5.
Then new at 6, Monroe County authorities take down 5 meth labs in less than 2 weeks. You'll hear from investigators about how dangerous these makeshift chemicals can be. Plus, it's been years in the making. Now a 40-mile nature trail that winds through North Mississippi is almost ready to open. These stories and more ahead on WTVA News at 6.